The era of Mad Men is over, but you knew that, right? What's up guys, and welcome to another video. In today's video, I'll be talking about the book Growth Hacker Marketing by Ryan Holiday. First off, what is a growth hacker? According to Andrew Chen, and I'm gonna have to use my phone for this because it's a pretty long quote, growth hackers are a hybrid of marketer and coder, one who looks at the traditional question of how do I get customers for my product and answers with A/B tests, landing pages, viral factor, email, deliverability, and open graph. So going back to the point, no longer is marketing solely driven by an agency. Marketing is now driven by a hybrid of data scientist, design fiend, and marketer. At least that's how Ryan Holiday puts it in his book. For as he says in his book, a growth marketer doesn't see marketing as something one does, but rather as something one builds into the product itself. Prior to the advent of growth hacker marketing, marketing was perceived as something that would be done right before the launch of a product. So you would build a product and then you would spend basically a ton of cash to try to market this product out through media coverage, through PR stunts, lots of money spent to try to create that big push that would then supposedly drive your sales up to the right. But that started to change. So right around the tech bubble and right before the tech bubble crash, you still had the same kind of marketing ideas being promoted. You had pets.com that was purchasing Super Bowl commercials to try to advertise their products. You had all these other startups spending tons of cash on PR stunts, media coverage. It was only after probably a lot of these failures becoming public that a lot of startups and a lot of marketers probably started questioning this approach. Was marketing really something that could only be done prior to the launch of a product? Could you integrate marketing into a product at a much lower cost than having to spend thousands, millions of dollars on trying to push a product right before launch? Could you build certain features into a product? Could you build marketing basically into the product itself so that it could generate word of mouth, it could generate user growth? And that's what started to drive the school of thought that would then produce the ideas that would be known as growth hacking. The goal in mind was to create a self-perpetuating marketing machine where you didn't have to input tons of cash every single time to get that jolt of user growth, that you could create a product with inbuilt marketing that could generate its own growth. So now that we know more about what growth marketing is, let's talk about early examples of growth hacker marketing. So let's take the example of Hotmail, which started off with around $300,000 in investment funding and later on exited at a valuation of $400 million when they sold to Microsoft. One day, the two founders of Hotmail had a problem. They wanted to grow their user base, but wasn't sure how to. So they sat down with the legendary venture capitalist Tim Draper and asked him what they could do. During that meeting, they talked about radio ads, they talked about billboards, but ultimately they settled on building the marketing within the product itself. What Tim Draper suggested was that the two founders of Hotmail add a note at the end of each email sent through Hotmail. It literally read, "P.S. I love you," and then it would ask the person receiving the email, and this didn't have to be a Hotmail user, to sign up for a Hotmail account. And that's how they would convert users. And that is actually what drove a lot of Hotmail's early exponential growth, because one user would send an email to 10 other potential users who would then onboard onto the platform and then send emails through Hotmail. And it was just like a self-perpetuating marketing machine. Remember what I said before. The goal is to create a self-perpetuating marketing machine, and that's exactly what Hotmail was able to achieve at a very low cost. Other examples are actually, and more contemporary examples, are Airbnb. when they introduced the feature of allowing people to hire photographers from their team to take pictures of their listings, or allowing people to cross-post to Craigslist, or another company, Superhuman, by making their product invite only. So those are just a few examples of growth hacker marketing in action. Instead of having a giant marketing budget, why not build the marketing into the product itself? And that's what a lot of these companies like Airbnb, like Superhuman, like Clubhouse, that's how they grew. So growth hacker marketing is here to stay. The era of madmen is over, and now we have the growth hacker. And that's why you see a lot of marketing now being done, not right before the launch of a product. It happens during the product development cycle, during the design cycle, and you even have marketing happening before a product is built as a way to research if there's demand for the product itself. So that's all for this video, a brief introduction of what growth hacker marketing, the book, is about. In the next video, I'll talk about product market fit and why it's important to market a product that people actually want. If people don't want your product, it doesn't matter how much money you spend in marketing dollars to try to get people to like that product, people are not going to buy. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.